This week on the Road with Mickey, role reversal and Disney recipes we make at home.
We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hi everyone, I'm Brenda and she's Sophie.
And he's Mike.
Hey everyone.
And he's Grogu, who's so cute. We love you, Grogu.
He's the only consistent thing.
Yeah, he's like, y'all are nuts.
We know.
We're on the road with Mickey. This is episode 235 for September 2nd, 2024. Man, this year's flying by. We have less than 4 months for Christmas.
I think I heard somewhere that it was 19 weeks until Christmas.
Yay!
Or something like that. Probably less now.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, as we said, and you probably already noticed, our feature topic is role reversal and Disney recipes we make at home. You probably already knew that it was role reversal if you listen regularly, because I'm not Mike.
And I'm not Brenda. I'm not Sophie either.
And I'm still Sophie, but I'm just doing something different today.
Well, we're excited about this weird episode. We're kind of crazy anyway, and it's fun. So we just change it up. But first, we're going to change up some cheddar from the big cheese, and I'll go first. Disney After Hours is back for 2025. Yay!
Woo!
These are specially ticketed parties after hours that you purchase for staying in the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, or Hollywood Studios on select nights. For Magic Kingdom and Epcot, the after hours times are from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. and you get in starting at 7 p.m. For Hollywood Studios, the hours are 9:30 to 12:30 a.m., 9:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. And again, you get to start at 7 p.m. Dates vary, so reach out to us if you want to add after parks tickets into your vacation planning. I love after hours.
After hours at Epcot sounds like so much fun. I don't think I've ever done the actual after hours party. I remember when I was young and they had extra magic hours, but those weren't a ticketed event.
Right. Those were free. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Now you have to stay at a deluxe resort for those free extended hours, and they're only a couple days a week.
Well, anyway, speaking of Epcot, because I quite like Epcot, my favorite festival is upon us now. The Food and Wine Festival, International Food and Wine, started last week on August 29th and continues through November 23rd this year.
Yay.
I am here to tell you all about the food because that's my favorite part.
That's what we roll on food here, people.
That's right.
Absolutely, it does. So at Communicore Hall, you can find the Macketizers menu with 4 different types of mac and cheese. You knew that I wanted to start with that one first when you put that in the list. I love mac and cheese. I'm a connoisseur, you could say. And then near Mission Space is the Coastal Eats menu, where Daddy can enjoy the warm water lobster tail with garlic butter. He likes lobster. I do not.
Well, he can enjoy it for me too, because I can't have it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's all right, Aunt Brenda. We can go over somewhere else, like maybe.
I'm having mac and cheese with you.
Yeah, we can have mac and cheese, or in World Showcase, there are lots of options, of course, but the one that piques my interest is in China with the pan-fried chicken dumplings with house-made sweet and spicy sauce and the crispy duck bao bun with hoisin sauce. I love Chinese food.
You turned me onto those bao buns, and they were so good.
I know. Even the soy one that they have in Japan for the Flower and Garden, that one was really good, and I'm not much of a soy person. But lastly, don't forget about our favorites in Canada, well, Daddy's favorite at least, the cheddar cheese and bacon soup served with a pretzel roll, and the filet mignon with mushrooms, bourgeon garlic and fine herbs mashed potatoes, and the bourgeon garlic and fine herbs butter. Say that 5 times fast. I
Isn't
don't know if
it?
I
That's a
pronounced it right.
mouthful.
But there is a link that we will be including in the show notes with the menu of all the different foods that you can get at the Food and Wine Festival. And as I say, because I am not a very cultured girl, bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Yeah.
Well, I am taking us across to Universal.
Aw.
Starting last week, also on August 29th, and continuing through November 3rd, The Darker Side of Magic is back at Universal Orlando Resort as the Death Eaters are
Ah.
back at Diagon Alley
Oh boy.
on select
Ooh.
days. So you can go to Diagon Alley, which of course is on the Universal Studios Florida side, and you can see the Death Eaters trying to recruit people to the dark side.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't
it's
know.
it's kind of neat, and you can also buy all your Death Eater merch too, because they're gonna have masks and stuff like that.
That's true.
Oh,
T-shirts,
wow.
things like that. So of course there's going to be merch.
Of course. Of course.
I
Always.
will say this. The dark side in Harry Potter is not nearly as tempting as the dark side in Star Wars.
Right.
I'm
Just gonna
wondering
say
if our
that.
listeners are planning to go to the dark side. Write us and let us know. You can comment at Facebook on the Road with Mickey, or our Facebook group on the Road with Mickey group. And we are also on YouTube and Instagram, and you can email us at info@ontheroadwithmickey.com. Hey, send us some show ideas, y'all.
Oh yeah, we need show ideas. Do we have any listener feedback for this episode? I don't think we do.
No, we don't
Nope.
have for this one, but we're going to ask the question in the group on what Disney recipes they like to make, our listeners like to make. And we will
Nice.
get that feedback for next week.
Yay! All right. Well, I guess we are on to our feature topic. Role reversal, which we're on to already, and of course, food, because we love food, because we're
We
Disney
do.
foodies.
Yes, we love, love, love food. So, Aunt Brenda, since you are the one who actually made something this week, why don't you go first?
Sophie, you made something too.
Yeah, you did.
Well, yeah, but Aunt Brenda's obviously turned out better.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you a story, which is funny, but first
The
I'll tell you what
story
I made.
of a lovely lady.
That's right. Well, what
Jeez.
I
Wrong
made
show.
this
Wrong
week
show.
was my husband's favorite from our favorite family restaurant, which is Ohana. All my family has always loved Ohana, so we've included it in every single trip. And I made the Ohana's honey coriander chicken wings.
Ooh.
My husband loves the Ohana chicken wings, and I am usually a pot sticker girl, and I love Ohana pot stickers, so that's what I usually eat the most of, but he usually eats most of the chicken wings. So I made those for him.
You're
They
such a good wife.
actually, oh, thank you. They actually turned out very good. Very tasty. They tasted just like Ohana's coriander. I mean, it's the recipe from Disney. But I do have a funny story because even though they tasted great, I would modify the recipe quite a bit. And
Okay.
I'll tell you why. I'm inside a house. I'm not in a big area with big fire pits going. And the recipe calls for you to cook the ribs for 35 minutes on 500. Well, cooking on 500 with a sauce that has sugar in it in an oven causes a bit of smoke and a bit of fire alarms and having to open all the doors in the house
Oh
and
my gosh, did
things
that
like that.
happen?
Yes, it did.
Oh
Yes, it
my.
did.
Oh
Because as
no.
soon as the sugar started burning to that foil that was lining my pan,
Ooh.
it was smoke coming up from the oven, and it was, yeah. And then my husband goes, "Well, I better open the doors before the smoke alarms go off. Too late."
Mm, I
Too
am so sorry.
late. So, but still, they tasted delicious. I already wrote on the recipe that next time I'm going to do it at 400. And I
I
think that will be
see.
much better, and I think they will cook all the way through. So next time I'll be trying it at 400. Just in case anyone out there wants to make these delicious wings, try it at 400 for
Tell
35.
me, do you have an outside grill by chance?
I do have a grill, but when you're dealing with sugar in the recipe, it always is gonna like stick, and I don't know how it would do on the grill.
That is a fair point.
We
I'm
do though.
just
We
trying
have a
to
pellet
think.
grill and a regular grill, and we have an old smoky. I may try that the next time too.
I'm
Do
just
you
trying to think because if you still used it on a pan and you just let it cook in the grill outside, that might remove some of the issue. You might concern the neighbors a little bit with all the smoke, but at least it wouldn't be inside the house and setting
That's
off
right.
all the smoke alarms.
That's right.
I forgot to ask Brenda, do you have your book nearby?
I don't have my book nearby.
Okay, I was gonna have you show the book that you got the recipe from.
I
Oh, I'm
was
sorry.
That's
No, it's
okay.
fine.
I actually
I
got the recipe online. It's a
Oh,
printout. It was
okay.
Oh,
posted, I think during COVID. Disney started, doing things to kind of keep families doing Disney things at home and
Uh-huh.
keeping the magic alive, and they started releasing some of their recipes.
Okay, so you
And
didn't get
that's
it
where I
out of
got
the
it.
I
book.
see.
Right.
So it really was an
Okay.
official Disney recipe.
It is, yes. And I do
I
have 5
see.
different cookbooks. I have a food and wine cookbook, and I have Disney chefs cook. I have all kind of cookbooks, but that recipe is a printout.
You have a
Okay.
food and
Okay.
wine cookbook?
Yes.
Can you share some of those with me?
Sure.
Yes, please. Please, please,
Sure.
please. Well, the cookbook that my dad and I used when we were coming up with our recipes is actually called the Unofficial Disney Food Cookbook. Keyword being unofficial. None
Mhm.
of these recipes are actually from the parks, but they are inspired by various dishes that you can get in the parks, and they are separated by location. So I chose a drink. I did not choose a food item just because I wanted some variety because Aunt Brenda had savory, Daddy had sweet. So I figured I would do a drink to go with this wonderful meal that we are making together. And the drink I chose is based off of New Orleans Square in Disneyland, and it is a mint julep. And I actually have my drink here. I went ahead and made it before we started the show, and
Nice.
this drink is actually modified from the original recipe. Very nice. The
Nice.
When I followed the original recipe, it tasted awful. It
Oh,
tasted
really?
absolutely
Oh,
awful.
wow.
Neither my dad nor I could handle more than a couple sips of the
Oh, wow.
disaster of a concoction that I made.
Was
My
it too sweet?
No,
It,
it was not sweet at all.
Oh, I
I
see.
was tasting mostly the seltzer water.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Not a
yeah,
great
So,
flavor on its own, right?
nope.
right.
So what the recipe called for, and I remember it off the top of my head because I just made it, obviously, and modified it. The recipe called for 1 cup of lemonade, 1 cup of club soda because I made an alcohol-free version because mint juleps normally have bourbon in them, and I didn't want to go buy bourbon. So half lemonade, half seltzer water with, I believe it was 4 tablespoons of mint syrup that I made at home, and it tasted disgusting.
Oh no.
So what I did this time around is instead of going half lemonade, half seltzer water, I went 75% lemonade and just a little bit of the seltzer water. And then I added in 3 tablespoons of the mint syrup, and that helped balance it out very well. And then I also garnished it with some maraschino cherries because that's what the picture had. You can see them here. And I poured a little bit of the maraschino cherry syrup that I had as well, making it pink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
And
So
it
your
tastes really good.
Sophie's concoction is better
Yeah,
than the
that's
recipe
right.
concoction.
Whew.
Yep.
Good.
It's got a really big kick of mint though.
Well,
Yeah,
good.
that's awesome. I think,
That
you know
is
what, Mike?
awesome.
I'm wondering if I should I sent you a picture of the wings that you can share, but I
Okay.
think I'll take a picture of the recipe if we want to put it in the I mean, it was published, so there's nothing wrong with us putting it in our show notes,
Yeah,
right? Or
I saw the wings. I saw the picture of the wings that you sent us in our group chat, and oh my goodness, Aunt Brenda,
Yeah,
they
I'll
look
share that
so
right now.
good. They
I'll share that right now.
look
I
so
think I'll
good.
send y'all a picture of the recipe too, and then um, you can share that in the show notes or something in case anybody wants to make them.
Oh,
Ooh, they look
Yeah.
so yummy.
they do.
Daddy, I think I want wings tonight. There's a
Well, when you make them, you have sauce left over, so you can also use it for dipping. And you know what? You can use it on other
Ooh,
stuff, like maybe if you make steak the next night or something, you could brush some on there.
Mhm.
It's really good.
that
Yeah,
sounds delicious.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
So on my end,
Yay.
I had a whole lot of trouble. I full
Well,
disclosure.
your house didn't set off all the alarm.
No. Full disclosure. I'm a I failed. I did not make anything.
No, Daddy.
Not a failure.
It's okay.
I'll
You have had a very busy night every single day of the last
right
week.
because we've been going to the Harry Potter movies I told you about in the show notes a few weeks ago. So
Yeah, pretty
Cindy and I
cool.
have been at the movies every day since Sunday.
I'm so glad y'all are doing that though. What
but
fun.
I'll
but
be joining
anyway,
them tonight for Order of the Phoenix.
Yay.
I have two that I wanted to try, and one of them is from Disneyland, and that is in Adventureland, the Bengals tiger skewers or something like that. Um, and
That sounds good.
it's basically Brenda. Um, it's like beef kebabs
Yeah.
with like teriyaki and rice vinegar and red wine vinegar and some other things that you marinate it in, and then you grill them and you eat them. And they talk about in the book, and I didn't realize, but I thought these recipes were directly from the parks, Sophie. So I
Yeah, I thought they were too, and then I looked and saw that it said unofficial.
okay.
And then I remember we were looking at the recipe for tiger tails that the book has, and it was nothing like what Aunt Brenda described.
But yeah, but the difference is that one was called Tiger Tails breadsticks.
True.
So it was
Difference. Yeah.
different. But anyway, neither here nor there. So I was gonna try that one, and it didn't work out. But the other one I wanted to try, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do both of them at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other one is the caramel popcorn, and I actually read through, and I have the pages from the book that talk about how they make the caramel popcorn. And you basically start out by making your caramel sauce, which is made with butter, brown sugar, corn syrup, and salt, and a little bit of vanilla extract and baking
Hmm.
soda. Okay.
Yeah.
And you make your caramel out of all that, and you pop plain popcorn, 10 cups, and then you You pour some of the caramel onto the popcorn, you shake it all up to coat it over everything, and then you do the rest of it, and you do all that. And when you're done, you actually put it on a baking sheet on parchment paper, and you bake it in the oven um, for an hour at 250 degrees, and you stir the popcorn every 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and you let it
Yeah.
cool. And I'm telling you, I got a picture of from the book of how it looks, and I'm like, this looks phenomenal.
That sounds so good.
So
And then if you want to
there's
add some nuts, you can add some nuts in there.
mhm.
Ooh, yeah.
So I was tempted. I was
Mm.
like, you know what? Maybe I should just buy a bag of Cracker Jacks and say, look at it. But
No, there's no way it would be the same.
I know, no way it would have worked.
That looks
Come to
so
think of it, though,
good.
Daddy, they actually were selling caramel popcorn at the store.
I know, but
And it
still,
looked kind of like that, but I wasn't going to lie to our
no,
listeners.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. I was just teasing.
No,
But
but walking into the caramel couche, you could just smell the, oh my
uh-huh.
God, I can smell it right here,
Mm,
right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing is the whole idea behind this was to draw you back into the parks.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
the mint juleps takes us to Disneyland, right, Sophie?
Yeah.
Cheers.
And Ohana, obviously, the honey coriander chicken wings takes us to Ohana, and the caramel popcorn takes us to Germany, and the Bengal skewers takes us over to Disneyland. So I'm still going to make
Yay.
both of those at some point, and I think maybe the Bengal beef skewers will be this weekend.
Yes,
So I
Nice.
because
will let you know how it turned out.
yeah, I always host Jonathan every Sunday night for dinner and whatnot. And so we're thinking the beef skewers might be a good dinner option for this Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or at least an appetizer.
But you
Um,
know what?
so
All this talk about recipes that we haven't made, I don't mean to do this to you, Daddy, but it reminds me of one that
Hmm.
I have not made in a long time,
uh-huh.
and that is actually a Monte Cristo sandwich.
Oh,
I
yummy.
have made them before, and I remember in Disneyland, we're going back to New Orleans. I remember actually trying my first Monte Cristo sandwich in New Orleans Square, and it was so good.
It is so good. I love those.
And
Yeah.
Brenda, you mentioned you're a pot stickers girl.
Yeah.
I love
Do you
pot
have the
stickers.
recipe for that?
I don't know. I may.
That's something to research.
I may, because those are so good.
That sounds involved too, because it sounds like they probably the recipe would be like you know, making your own mixture and
And making your own dough
getting your own dough and folding
and
Yeah.
them and
forming the
forming the
dumplings.
dumplings. So it
Yeah.
sounds like it'd be a very advanced recipe, more than I could do
Yeah.
probably.
I would
They
love
probably
to,
have something at Sur La Table that'll, you know, press them properly.
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to learn to make my own dumplings though.
Oh, they're
Whenever
good.
I'm in a pot sticker mood, I just buy myself a bag of frozen ones from the grocery aisle, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
are really, really good if you boil them in chicken stock and whatnot.
Oh,
Makes a
yum.
really good soup.
Yeah.
Yum.
hmm I
That
Yeah.
made it a
sounds
couple
good.
weeks ago. Quite good.
So
We need to learn how to make the bao buns because those are so.
I could probably look up a YouTube tutorial. Daddy watches so much of the Guy Fieri cooking shows.
Oh yeah.
And one episode that he watched recently was all about Asian cuisine, and it was on this show called Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives.
Hmm.
Amazing. It takes you into the restaurants, and the owners sort of walk you through step by step the recipes to make some of their
mhm.
most um,
Famous. Yeah.
famous dishes. Yeah, and there was this one lady, she was a grandmother, I think, and she was making all these bao buns by hand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
Yum.
And what makes a great bao bun is they're steamed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're baking them and getting a hard crust. You're steaming them and getting a
Mm-hmm.
soft. Oh, so
So
good.
delicious.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
delicious. We love Disney food. We love food, but we love Disney food. Everything tastes better at Disney.
yeah,
Everything.
Well, is that it for our feature topic?
I guess
I
that
think so.
is. Yeah. So
All right.
we'll report
Well,
back on how the skewers are and how the caramel popcorn turns out.
yeah,
Absolutely. And
that
maybe
sounds
I'll
so
make
great.
another Monte Cristo sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, take pictures for us too.
Certainly.
Share the recipes.
Absolutely.
Yay. Well, I guess we're on to this day in Disney history for September 2nd.
All
So
Daddy?
right.
guess who's doing that today? Yeah, Mike, take it away.
All right. We are going to 1979. I was 11 years old. That was the year I took my first trip to Walt Disney World, to
And
the
me
Magic
too,
Kingdom.
but I was
And you
15
too. Yep.
because I'm an old lady.
You're not an old lady. You are
No.
well aged.
You're
Anyway,
like a fine bottle of vintage wine. You only
yep,
get better as the years go on.
yep.
Mhm.
And you're not full of vinegar. So, back to the history though. September 2nd, 1979. The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad attraction opens in Disneyland's Frontierland. The wildest ride in the wilderness takes guests careening through dark caverns and abandoned mines. Imagineer Tony Baxter modeled the attraction after the scenery of Bryce Canyon National Park in Utah.
Oh,
The exciting
nice.
Big Thunder Mountain replaces the more sedate Mine Train Through Nature's Wonderland. And a second Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will open at Disney World in the Magic Kingdom in November of 1980.
Mm.
Nice. What a
That
fun ride.
and what was really cool, and this is how it works. It's just happy coincidences sometimes. But I had just watched maybe last week, your week before, the behind the attractions, and they were talking about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and they were talking about the mine train through Nature's Wonderland and all that, and it was on the
That's
show. And
neat.
then it just happens that for me, to my history this day is about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
That
So
is just the way
to
it's
me,
meant to
that's cool.
be.
That's just cool.
That's right. Tapestry. Well, Sophie,
All
are you
right.
ready?
To stump the mic.
Yep.
Stump the mic.
Stump the
All
mic.
right,
Look,
Daddy.
I got a mic
I
here. We could do a mic drop if I get it.
No, let's not do that,
We're
okay?
not dropping Mike. No, we're not.
Because
Okay.
I debated long and hard about whether I was going to be easy on you or if I was going to um how should I put this? Make
Challenge
it
him.
as challenging for you as it normally is for me.
Oh well, which is not very then.
You're right. You're right. So we'll just see. I think I might have made it a little bit more challenging. But I have three characters. Well, more than three characters, actually, but we'll go with three characters and see if that's what it takes for you to get it.
So I'm guessing
And
a movie.
yeah, you're guessing the movie.
Okay,
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
My first character is Uncle Albert.
Okay, I know what it is.
Do you?
I think so. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead and tell me.
Mary Poppins.
You are right.
Very good.
My second
Very good.
character was going to be Admiral Boom, and my third character was going to be Jane Banks.
Very
Nice.
good.
Mary Poppins just celebrated last week 60 years of its release, Brenda.
Wow, that's awesome. I just
And
saw a
I
clip
had
the other
just
day of
watched
Julie
it last
Andrews
night.
walking around Walt Disney World and
Oh, wow.
I don't know, she must have been in Disneyland because she was young. It may have been like soon after she made Mary Pop, or it may have been a special. I don't know if she was at Disneyland or Walt Disney World, but she was on Main Street and she was walking around singing Feed the Birds.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
gosh. Oh.
Just makes your heart flutter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yay! I'm 1-0,
Yeah.
retiring as the undefeated champion.
Oh, boy.
Look, the head keeps getting bigger and bigger. And soon it'll be outside of the screen. See?
Hmm.
Well, maybe Sophie's a little chip off the old block.
Maybe.
Maybe. I wouldn't have thought that. Not for stump the Soph reasons. I wouldn't have, because I'm not very good at those sorts of games.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, I'm horrible at it, but my God, Sophie's got it down to the science.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
then.
guess what time it is? Time for a little bit of waltz. Sophie, what you
Yes,
got?
I am taking on this role as well today. And I have really one quote that turned into two quotes because it needs some context.
Okay.
So, in honor of us talking about food, I have this quote. I like corn. Walt Disney. Now let me explain. Because I don't think it's actually about the corn on the cob vegetable. When I was a kid, Walt says, a book that I read advised young artists to be themselves. That decided it for me. I was a corny kind of guy, so I went in for corn.
There you
Walt
go.
Disney.
Very good. He often
That's
described
funny.
himself as corny.
Well, we all know that he had a wonderful sense of humor.
Mhm.
He was a great man. Thank you for
Yep.
sharing that quote.
Thank you, Sophie, for
course.
sharing.
Thank you.
Love the man.
Yeah.
Love him a lot. All
Well,
right, then.
I think that's going to do it for us today. We thank you so much for joining us here at On the Road with Mickey. Join us next week when our feature topic is the ABCs of Disney. Things we like at Disney that start with the letter T, as in Tower of Terror.
As in
Oh.
Thunder Mountain. As in
Tinkerbell.
Tiana's Bayou
There you
Adventure.
go. We already have a great start.
Yeah.
And you thought we forgot about this series, I bet.
Well, we would love if our listeners would write in and let us know if you have tried any Disney recipes at home and share what your favorites are. So we like to try the recipes at home. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. And
Yeah.
if you have any tea-related Disney things that you want to share with us for next week's episode, we
Yeah.
will be sure to include those as well.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though,
Yep. We
I'm
hope you have a
Sophie.
great week and keep your smile, share your smile. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us.
and we
And-
will see you
See
on
you
the
on
road.
the road.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.